Go ahead. Welcome everybody for coming here today to the People's Church of Divine Prophecy. We've been here about 2.5 years and grow every day, every service. So thank you all for coming. Thank you for your continued support, and thank you for your interest here if you're a first timer. If you please silence your cell phones unless you're law enforcement or medical personnel. For restrooms, you can go down the hall, quick right, quick left. You'll see them ahead of you. Timers on the wall for the light, so please twist that and turn it on for a little extra light. There's water in the fridge in the back, coffee in the back there, snacks, so help yourself at any time. I'd like to have Erica light the 3 candles symbolizing the unity of body, mind, and spirit to start the service. Please stand for the invocation and remain standing for the first hymn. Dear Father God, we give thanks for this moment in time, this ability to gather with those of like mind as we approach our celebration of Independence Day. Let us be reminded that it is also a time of freedom for religious expression. We give thanks for these freedoms, your blessing, and the gathering of those of like mind. Amen.
Amen.
The next portion of the service is a reading by the pastor. And today I have been considering all week a certain issue that's been going on. I was listening to a Johnny Cash song in the car on the way over, and it kind of summed it up. And it talks about the wheel as it comes around again to people who get what they deserve, don't act out, turn the other cheek and just wait for that wheel to come around. And that's been sort of the theme of what I've been going through this week, is being temperate and quiet. And the 8th law of right, which is in this blue handout in the back of Emma Hardage Britton, states, be temperate, moderate, yet firm in defense of what we consider to be right. Protest against any wrongs to ourselves or others. It says be temperate, but also be moderate. You can be humble, but still be standing on your feet when you address someone. And the particular issue that's going on with me at this time is there's somebody who, for years in a row, continually put themselves upon me, continually tried to do me wrong, and continually tried to do me harm. But sticking to my spiritual principles, sticking to being led by God rather than my own mind and reacting, I've managed to ameliorate or lessen the effect that this individual had on my life. And it wasn't just personal. This was in connection with organization that I was part of for quite a while, still in today. And these individuals, this one in particular, led an effort that took my membership, that did a lot of wrong to me, and eventually I righted those wrongs through due process, through the membership and things of that nature. Now this individual is having a hearing, and we're all invited to come and have a say about it. This individual has managed to run afoul of the organization themselves. And you know how, like Johnny Cash song says, the wheel comes around and God is giving to people to reap it as they sow. You know, my problem is sometimes I want to give that wheel a little push when it comes around, kind of help it a little bit, you know, give back what I've been getting. And when I thought about that Emma Hardage Britten, 8th law of right, be temperate or moderate, yet firm in what you do. The problem with giving that wheel a push when it comes around is you re-engage that issue. You buy back into that energy, and you put yourself back into those situations instead of being freed from them. You can observe things, you can just allow God's plan to unfold with people, but as soon as you get too involved with it, you buy part of that karma, part of that issue, if you wish, to get back into it. So we have to be responsible, and that's the cornerstone of spiritualist teaching. And the cornerstone is personal responsibility. You are responsible for your acts every time you do them, everywhere you do them, regardless of why you do them. And when you begin to take responsibility for things, you don't start the statement by, yeah, but. As soon as you say that, yeah, but, you know you're on the wrong track. You accept responsibility for your actions, and you don't accept the whole situation if it's not yours. If you put yourself into a position where somebody puts upon you and does wrong to you, your part of that is for putting yourself in that situation, not the other person's actions. So you accept responsibility for where you're at and what you've done, not the other person's actions. That keeps us on an even keel and puts balance to the situations. And it puts a spiritual component on it because you're looking at yourself. You're not looking at the other person. So you need to have that personal responsibility to balance yourself. And when defending yourself, you don't defend yourself too strongly, because then you get emotional. You get out of the truth, you get out of the facts of the situation, and you begin to project it incorrectly. So in with all of this human side of us, we have to have these spiritual teachings. We have to have a connection to God. Take a moment to be quiet and let God into your life. Let the presence of God speak to your mind. You're responsible for what you say and do. Nobody else, no one else, no deity, no person. You are responsible at every time, at every moment. And if we remember that, it will temper our actions sometimes. It does mine. And it will allow us to stop and be quiet and let God into our lives. Thank you. The next portion of the service is the healing portion. I'd like to have Judy and Marty take positions behind the chairs. Those that would like to receive hands-on healing can take a seat as they become available. Ashton's going to do the meditation. During the meditation, hear this, which means the chair has become vacant, so you can enjoy the meditation and still receive the spiritual healing if you so choose.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Find a comfortable position to sit, where there is no stress or tension on your physical body. Take a few deep breaths. Close your eyes. And just turn within. With each breath, go deeper and deeper within. Breathe in and breathe out. Feel the motion of your breath as it takes you deeper and deeper within. Breathe in and breathe out. As you go deeper, connect with your essence, with your heart. Focus on your heart chakra and feel your heart chakra breathing with you. With each breath, your heart chakra expands and contracts. Just focus on your heart. And connect with the love, the infinite love that you have in your heart. It is God's unconditional love and compassion that is part of you. Become one with that presence. Be the love that you are. And know that love is the greatest power of the entire universe. There are no anger or resentment in your heart. Let go of all hurtful emotions, pain that is stopping you from loving, from being the great love that you are. Breathe in and breathe out. Embrace this love and feel it. Feel the greatness of your essence, of the love that you are capable of loving anyone and everyone unconditionally with compassion. If anyone hurts you, love them more. If anyone betrays you, approach them with love. Love is power. Utilize it with your actions, with your interactions with others. Someone doesn't love you, love them more. When they don't respect you, love them more. Love is your true weapon. Use it. Utilize it. Wherever you are, whatever you do. Be love. Love is your essence, and your essence is God. Surrender to God, and especially during hardships, allow God to be in charge. Trust and be. Now feel all God's unconditional love in your heart that is bubbling, pouring out of your heart. Feeling your entire surrounding, your body from within and without, with this beautiful love energy. Now think of someone who has caused you pain in the past. Anyone that you are in conflict. Envision this person with your third eye and focus on your heart. Send this love energy from your heart to that person. And see the person receiving God's love straight to the heart. And know that the relationship is healed with God's love. The relationship is healed with love and acceptance. God is the ultimate power of the universe. And God is love, is your true essence. Send the rest of the love that you have to the universe, to the earth, to the ocean. Let your love reach every sentient being, creatures, animals. Let your love touch humanity everywhere. Let love prevail everywhere. Let love be. Let there be love on earth. Let it begin with us. Let there be love on earth. Let it begin with us. Let there be love on earth. Let it begin with us. Let these thoughts and vibrations integrate deep into your consciousness. As you start coming back slowly, become aware of your heart chakra. Feel the warmth of your heart. And let this love guide you and lead you always. Slowly come back and be aware of your physical body. Engage with your physical senses. And be here. Thank you.
Next portion of the service is the inspirational lecture. Today we have Claire Vancott from Cassadaga Spiritualist Camp. I've known Claire since almost 10 or 15 years now. She studied some of my classes and now has taken it into her own expression. She's a certified medium and healer of the Cassadaga Spiritualist Camp. She's just returning from a trip to the Arthur Findlay College in the United Kingdom. She's also worked in Canada and in New Jersey and in Lilydale. She's studying with the Morris Pratt Institute. Personally, what I know about Claire is that she speaks from the heart, she speaks direct, and I'm sure this is what we're going to get today. I'm not sure what she's speaking about, but you're going to get it straight. Please welcome Claire Vancott.
Thank you, everybody. Can you hear me okay? Yes. Great. Okay, one correction. I've completed the Morris Pratt program. Woo! That's a big deal because it takes a lot of work, quite frankly. And I am now in the ministerial program at Cassadaga. I've decided to continue on in that direction. So I would like to read for you from Andrew Jackson Davis first, The Divine Mind. The divine mind is the cause. The universe is the effect, and the spirit is the ultimate design. And my lecture today is going to be on free will with an eye towards spiritualism. Free will is one of those issues that gets me hopping because I'm not a big fan of somebody telling me that I don't think for myself. As Steve mentioned, I think for myself, and I usually do pretty loudly. But it's do we have free will or is it an illusion? This is an ongoing scientific question right now, and they have actual scientific proof that they, being the scientists, are saying that we do not actually have free will. There's about a second delay. I know I don't agree with it either, but there's a second delay between your mind and your physical action. And so they're proving by experiment that we don't have free will. So they've proven this, and the brain reacts a full second before. This is the neurons to the muscles, and the conclusion is no free will. And I beg to differ, quite frankly. My ego tells me that I'm in charge, that I decide, that I make my decision, and I decide where I'm going to go and who I'm going to speak to and what I'm going to say. And the belief in that every event is determined prior to the event of it actually occurring, which this is a little bit difficult of a definition, so stay with me when I get to the determination part of this program. But I want to determine my actions daily. When I get behind the wheel of my car, I want to feel that I am the one making all the decisions, right, left, stop, go. Synchronicity is defined by the experience of two or more events that are apparently causally unrelated, or unlikely to occur by chance, yet are experiences as occurring together in a meaningful manner. So in English, that means that events occur in succession and they create an outcome. And one of the things that I had seen recently on TV was a car accident. This was an extremely serious car accident where a mother and two young children were in a totally mangled vehicle to the point that it was unrecognizable and was actually hanging over a bridge. And the emergency service people were there working as hard as they possibly could to release them using the jaws of life But unfortunately, due to the weight and the situation of the vehicle, the further they would go into this removing of metal, the more they were endangering the family. But there happened to be a military crew who had been delivering all the equipment from one location to the next. And that particular day, everything went wrong for them. They were delayed, and they were frustrated, and they were tired, and there they are just at the right place at the right time. And they happen to have, the last piece of equipment they were moving was called it's a forklift, but it's an extremely large forklift, and it has very agile movements and can extend far distances. So they were politely allowing the emergency service to work on this family, but unfortunately the situation became dire, and the emergency service people decided they could no longer go forward with their actions. At that time, they stepped forward completely and said, we have this piece of equipment, and it can help you here. So they utilized it, they brought it and said, where is it? And it was like right behind them because they'd already positioned everything. They put it in underneath the vehicle to support it so it would not fall, and then proceeded to remove a small child out of a car seat, a young girl, and the mother. So to me, that's synchronicity in its highest and its best form, and like, thank goodness for moments like that, you know. That's what you're living for. And just on a personal note, Steve talked about his personal experiences and things that have happened, and where the trail has taken us to a place where the person that has probably given him the most aggravation for a couple of years is now in the situation, you could say karma, but I'm not a big fan of saying karma, because I believe that karma is something that you should work out with yourself within your own life period. Some people use that as sort of the glorified excuse, you know, they'll get it next time in their next life. No, I believe let's function between the beginning of this life and the end of this life, and if you're making poor decisions, change your decisions, change your mind, make differences, say you're sorry, apologize, and go forward. So I like to think of karma within this lifetime. Anybody else can think anything they want. Free will. That's the way I feel about it. But this particular military crew had been through the most frustrating day that they could probably describe, and yet they were there to be the absolute savior for that family at that moment. And that is the biggest thing. Was it free will that caused all those decisions? Was it just the choices and how we got there? Who knows? It doesn't really matter as long as you get the positive results. We may sometimes ask God to assist us along our way when we're having a difficulty and a challenge, and we understand that we are not finding the path around, through, and forward with ourselves. Asking for help is really a wonderful thing. We often, quite frankly, forget to do it. We forget that there's a whole body of the other side that is willing and able to help us, even if it's just to inspire you to say the right thing to the right person, or perhaps not say anything to anyone, you know, which is also a gloriful thing that people don't understand. That takes evolution and process to understand that sometimes shutting your mouth is equally important to saying things. And, you know, we're all going through our spiritual development. I've, quite frankly, found that one to be the strongest. It's what I don't say more than what I do say. Because I find if I wait just a little bit longer, it's all a little different, isn't it? There's a little emotional that's been pulled back and been released. And I found it quite interesting because I feel that what Steve was talking with, quite frankly, correlates very nicely with what I was thinking about. Now, I said to and I to spiritualism. So the seventh spiritual principle is reaffirm that the moral responsibility of the individual and that he makes his own happiness or unhappiness as he obeys or disobeys nature's physical and spiritual laws. You are responsible for your thoughts. You are responsible for all of your actions, and that's exactly what Steve was saying. There's no devil made me do it, you know. There's no karma. I'm acting my karma out in some way. In that respect, your life is a result of the sum total of all the choices that you personally have made. If you don't like any part of your life, take the time, the opportunity, slow things down, and work on changes. And they're painful. You know, anytime you do something that's different than your typical norm, there's a great deal of pain that comes along with that, because you have to realize, in actuality, my personal belief is that because you're not doing the same thing, there's a space that becomes available. And if you can fill that space with positive things versus go right back to the same things that you've been doing, not that they were necessarily negative, but they are not necessarily positives for you either. So I believe if you're going to change your personal actions and change what you're doing, try to set yourself up with some preset positive things so that you can push yourself along a little bit faster and hopefully a little bit more comfortable. But I don't think that anybody ever guaranteed us that this life would have no pain whatsoever. And if they did, they were lying. So stay in compliance with natural laws while performing that which is required is staying in the flow of the universe. Now, being obedient to yourself, not to others, but to yourself, listening to your intuition and deciding that maybe there's something up there that's trying to help me. Maybe my internal voice knows what I need, where I need to go. Maybe I'll listen this time versus the 5 other times I chose not to listen and had negative or less than positive results. I negotiate deals with myself on a regular basis. So I'm going to mop all the floors of my house, and then I'm going to go out and go do what I want to do. In reality, what I end up doing is going to the beach, and I say, well, I'll do that when I get home. You know, I'll do a little tonight, a little tomorrow, a little the next day. But, you know, I think you do deserve a break off, and it's not as if the floors aren't going to be standing there when you get back. So I'm a big fan of go out, be with nature, enjoy yourself, keep yourself happy, and yes, get the things done that you need to do also. But we don't always realize how much we actually do, how much we're required to do on a regular basis. So it's easy to disallow this idea that we need time off. And I'm like, go with the time off. The law of attraction includes considering what are your true needs and desires. Look within yourself and act accordingly and exercise discernment. Often people will say they want, but actually they're in conflict with themselves because their actions are clearly showing that what they're saying they want on a verbal basis is not the way that they're acting. And then they don't understand why they don't get the results that they're looking for. So work with yourself and ask yourself, are these things that I'm asking of the universe actually what I really want? And if so, I would just put the two together, push it forward, and release at some point. Because yes, you need to put in action. The law of attraction tends not to tell you how much work you need to do to get what you want. There was like, you just sit there and you think about it, and it's just going to come to you. And that's great, right after you do the work, you know. Right after you apply yourself, and then allow yourself to release and let nature take its course, more or less. Let the universe come in, let them scoop you up and help you out and get you to your desired results. There is conflict sometimes because people sometimes don't like it. If they're really a type A personality, you only want what you've decided you want. So if the universe says, I'm going to give it to you in a roundabout way, you say, no, 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 I want. And so I suggest that you also put in highest and my best. So that means I understand, universe, that I want this thing, but I'm allowing you to bring it to me in whichever shape or form it is best for me on a personal level, whether I recognize that or not. So free will is moving around freely in any manner of our choosing. And here's the problem. We feel fully able to make choices without restraint. On the other hand, we are confined by cause and effect. That's the big debate. Philosophers, theologians, and scientists are still responsible. We are all still responsible for our actions, despite what they're doing, what the debate is, the good and the ugly. And we're not puppets on the string. We're not being manipulated by something outside of ourselves. You've done it. On behalf of the argument, one half of the argument is based on this is determinism, which is a complete description of the conditions of the universe together with a complete list of all the laws of nature, including all the things you may do. So I know that's a mouthful, but basically it means predetermined versus randomness. That's the other option that they find available to us. If life is random or is it predetermined? Free will must then be an illusion based on the scientific fact. But there's cause and effect, and it's part of everything. A collection of random experiences that we can either fall victim to, or they are often to propel us forward. And perspective is a really good thing, and I feel that's another thing that Steve had also touched on, to take a look at your life and try to step back a little bit and view things from a different direction. Try to look at things on a rounded sense and not just with that one-sided event. And we all know that our emotions play a large part of that. If you can take your emotions out of your thinking and allow yourself to view things, suddenly you may see a bigger perspective, you may have an opening, and you may actually find this bit of a mental shift that goes on with yourself. So that's a good and positive thing. One of the things that I've discovered is service to spirit is a choice. You may have abilities, you may grow up with abilities, you may have desire, and you may pursue it. But there's sort of what I like to call gates, and I don't mean that you need to go to a special place to learn about the gates, but I mean they come up. And they're either ethical questions or questions that you question yourself about how much time or energy or personal, your whole person that you want to put into the concept of serving spirit. And so what happens, you more or less go through a bit of changes and gates and things go forward as you decide. But you do get sort of flags to say, are you sure? Do you want to? Oh, you're being tested here a little bit. And so as you go along, you open yourself up, and if you should decide to go forward and to serve spirit, that's the relationship that you're building with spirit. So as you say yes, they say yes to you, and it continues and grows and it deepens. And ultimately that's what we want, is to get to the deepest part of our own personal development and allow ourselves to be a part of the universe in a loving and spiritual way. So in conclusion, we are capable of making our own choices, and we hold humanity responsible for their actions. Nurture yourself by refinement of your thoughts and feelings. Self-education, development, and training of your brain is what's going to get you further along your spiritual path. Begin with your emotional self. If you have issues, they will come up during your training, and they will come up during your path. And I'm pretty sure that would happen if you never decided you wanted to pursue anything spiritual. Your personal issues always come up to greet you. And when they do, acknowledge them. Take a little time. Acknowledge you're worth the effort and the time to say, you know, for the next couple of months I'm going to play low-key a little bit, and I'm going to be reviewing me. I'm going to be spending a little time with me. I'm going to be working with me for the purpose of clearing this issue out. And I know what the issue is because it's staring me in my own face and glaring at me. By acknowledging that, you're also acknowledging to spirit that you're willing to do the work. You are worth the investment of time in yourself. So I believe, go to the beach, relax, be with yourself. That's why coming here is such a wonderful thing to me. I love going to the beach. I have Beach Monday just as often as I possibly can. And just be with yourself. I've sat there at the beach with a blanket myself and a book and just been a part of the universe in the most special way. It did not entail any classes, lessons, books, anything. It just entailed me acknowledging me. And I think that's a beautiful, wonderful thing for us all to do. The natural law of cause and effect is an equalizer to all of us. Your spiritual evolution is determined by your relationship with infinite intelligence. You and spirit decide your progress. There is no rush. As a spiritualist, we understand that we are responsible for our own free choice and will. And my feeling is the scientists want to say I don't have any free will. Fine, I'll agree with you, but I have free choice. And with that, I say thank you very much, and I appreciate you listening, and it's been an honor to